بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوكل عليه ونصلي ونسلم على عبد المؤيد ورسول المسدد والمصطفى الأمجد أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك منا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر العهد منا لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. We're speaking about this event, this tragedy of Karbala, the incident of Karbala, that is unique, that is unparalleled. There is no similitude, there is no equal for the tragedy of Karbala in human history. There is simply nothing. No, with respect to all other revolutionary leaders and all other martyrs and shuhada of around the world even, and those who were killed and they fought oppression and dhulm, and salam of Allah on all of them, inshallah. But none surpasses that of Karbala. The Holy Prophet is the greatest of all prophets. Equally, his family is the greatest of all families. Salamullah alayhim ajma'in. We've mentioned about those who do not take advantage of opportunities when it arises. And we have said, and we've given one or two examples of one or two personalities during the time of Imam Hussein who wanted to join Imam Hussein and then they didn't, and they lost the opportunity of being enlisted on the list of shuhada of Karbala because of certain other reasons, justifiable reasons too, which they had. But the opportunity was to protect and to help Imam Hussein, and for some reason they didn't take advantage of this opportunity. And we've mentioned that last night, inshallah. And now we will continue. And there were quite a few also who have joined Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein, salamullah alayhi, from Makkah on his way to Kufa, who joined Imam Hussein along the path on his journey, and Imam Hussein explained to them what his mission is all about, what he needs to do and what needs to be done and what he is going to do. And they understood and they accepted the reasoning. They believed in Imam Hussein because Imam Hussein was Imam Hussein, salamullah alayhi. Imam Hussein was not an unknown leader. He was not known by the people. This is the grandson of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ahlul Bayt was known there amongst the people. Apart from Sham, for example, which was known as well, but in the outer areas, especially Makkah and Medina, Ahlul Bayt was known. So there were those who joined Imam Hussein, and they arrived with Imam Hussein in Karbala and fought valiantly. And those were the ones who were enlisted, included their names of Shuhada of Karbala. Salamullah alaykum. And then this particular installment is going to be about those Nasirin who were supposed to have helped Imam Hussein, but they didn't. There was a betrayal. And this is our installment. Not mentioning also Ahl Kufa at the time who invited Imam Hussein, and thousands of invitations were sent to Imam Hussein while he was in Medina already to come and assist and help. And Imam Hussein heed the call, listened to them. Hence he went to Kufa. We've explained that also. Now let us look at a hadith of Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi. One of his sayings where he says, Ala wa inni zahibun bihadi usra. I am taking my family. I'm taking my family. Ala qillatil adad. We are small in number. We are very few. Wa kathratil adu. But the enemies, they are in number, there are multitude of them. And here, this part, what we want to emphasize now in this particular segment, in this small episode, وَخُذْلَانَ النَّاصِرِ, and the betrayal, the treachery of the Nasir, the helpers. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Indeed, in Karbala, you find everything. Everything is found in this epic, in this event, incident of Karbala. Everything is found. Let us look at some very important aspects, or if we can itemize it and say it in this particular context for this small segment or episode, there might be 4 very important positive points of the movement of Imam Hussein, and we will mention it just briefly. And number 1 is Imam Hussein himself. We've said Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi was known. Everybody knew, the son of the daughter of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was not unknown. Even when Imam Hussein addressed the army on the day, the enemies on the day of Ashura, he said the following. فَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي شَكٍّ مِّن ذَلِكَ. If you have perhaps doubt about who I am, أَفَتَشُكُّونَ أَنِّي ibn bint نَبِيِّكُمْ. Do you doubt that I am the son of the daughter of your prophet? The enemy, Imam Hussein is addressing them, talking to them. So they knew, it was known who Imam Hussein was on the other camp. It was known. And then Imam Hussein says, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا فِي الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ مَا فِي الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ ibn bint Nabi غَيْرِ. As he said, Wallah, whether it is in the west of the earth or the east or anywhere around the world on this earth, whether it is west or east, there is no one other than the son of the daughter of the Holy Prophet. There isn't. I am that one. I am him. Why are you fighting me? Why have you massed? Why have you grouped? Why have you come to kill me? I'm the son, the grandson of the daughter of your Prophet. And yeah, Imam Hussein made it clear who he is, who he was. So that is maybe point number 1, one of the most positive aspects of the movement of Imam Hussein, which we might itemize under 4 categories, and that was number 1. Number 2 is the mission of Imam Hussein. He made it clear, by his slogans, by his sayings, by his sha'arat. And one of those sha'arats famous, إني لم أخرج أشرا ولا باطرا ولا ظالما ولا مفسدا وإنما خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي أريد أن آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر وأسير بسيرة جدي وأبي علي بن أبي طالب سلام الله عليه. That was known. I'm not resisting, I'm not opposing, I'm not standing up here against, my whole movement and my whole actions is not to create facade, corruption, or to cause mayhem and chaos, or that I want to gain power. That is not the reason. The reason is what? إِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِطَلْبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ. During the time of Imam Hussein, it was deviation from the message, from Risala to Rasul, from the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was deviation. So everything needs to be done to bring it back on the path, return the message to what my grandfather brought. And that was his mission. And I want Amr bil Ma'ruf, I want to advise and encourage and motivate and enjoy others, to come and admonish others to do good. وَأَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and to forbid what is wrong. This is my mission. وَأَسِيرُ بِسِيرَةِ جَدِّي, and I am on the path, I'm following the path, the seerah of my grandfather and my father. Not mentioning other rulers who came before him, those who usurped the power. No, I follow the path of my Jadd, of my grandfather. This Imam Hussein made it known. It was not a secretive movement. Everybody knew. Imam Hussein educated. He informed and educated. He educated the masses about what he is about to do and why he is doing it. That was number two. Number three is Imam Hussein, he did not only rest by informing the people, and because of the person he himself was, salamullah alayhi, but now, very important is this point. And this point is, he brought his family with his wives, his daughters, his sons. They also, Ibn Hanafiya, when he addressed, he said, okay, fine, no problem. You can go, if you can say it in our own vernacular, in our own words, okay, fine, you can go, but what about your family? They're going to be killed. And then Imam Hussein looked at him and answered, Allah want them. Allah want me to take them with, to become sabaya, to become captives. Allah wants it. Why? Why would a revolutionary leader like Imam Hussein, amongst others, and that's one of his attributes, who take his family with? Which revolutionary leader in history did that? Which one? Of which country around the world? Which revolutionary leader who take his beloved wife, his beloved children, his whole entourage, his household, also take them with to be killed? Which one? Illa al-Hussein, except Imam Hussein. How come? This matter is important. Why? As we've mentioned that in the previous lecture, itharatul awatif, to stir up, to enliven people's emotions, and to see the effect of what dhulm is doing. And when you are stirred up and moved by emotions, then that will do a there will be an internal storm within you. And when you are emotionally attached to something, you're going to do something like Imam Hussein, following Imam Hussein in order to rectify the situation. And Allah says about And we spoke about emotions now the other evening in the other lecture, how emotions is part. Islam is complete. Human being is not only flesh and blood and a mechanical machine that is pumping the blood, and you have the ability to think, and that's not all what human beings are. No. In addition to that, we are emotional as well. We experience emotions. And who created emotions, by the way? Allah Azza wa Jal, Jalla Sha'ana. That's not fabricated by chemistry. That's not fabricated by any factory or whatever. Emotions is part of being human. And this is what, if something should happen to my family, which he knew he will be killed, and it is known. He saw we've mentioned when he saw the ru'ya, when he saw the dream of Rasulullah coming to him, and Rasulullah instructed him that inna laka manzilatun, that indeed there is a manzila, there is a station, a position for you, fil jannah, in jannah, la tanalaha illa bishahada, that you will not reach that stage unless and until with shahada. Imam Hussein knew, Holy Prophet instructed, and who was Imam Hussein? I obey. وَمَا مِن مُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولَهُ أَمْرًا أَيَكُونَ لَهُمْ خِيرَةً فِي أَمْرِهِ. Does not befit a mu'min, male or female, when Allah and His Rasul decreed a matter, that we should still have a choice, that you still will say, but, or however. There is no buts, there is no howevers. When Allah and His Rasul decrees, we obey. And Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi was the first one in the saf of the itaat of Allah, to obey the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. If inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alam, indeed my salah, my devotion, my sacrifice, my nusuk, my devotion, my sacrifice, my life and my death, lillah rabbil alamin, for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. This was the basis on which the life of Imam Hussein was built. Total submission to the command of Allah Azza wa Jal, Jalla Sha'an. It's the grandson of the Holy Prophet, the grandson, the Harim of Islam, Harimul Kaaba, Harim Rasulullah. Imam Hussein is and will always be sacrosanct. And the fourth point is that might be understood as of the positive messages of Imam Hussein, of his movement, was he had some time. Imam Hussein left Medina in the last of Rajab, and he left Makkah on the day of Tarwiyah, Yawm Tarwiyah, which is on the 8th of Dhul Hajj. So he had some time. And during that time, where was he also? Left Medina and Makkah. Inform the Hujjaj, you're going on Makkah, you are doing the Hajj, you are in Ihram, you're going from Safa to Marwa, you are there in Muzdalifah on Arafat. Where are you? Where were the helpers? Where were the Hujjaj to help? Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi. Beautifully, Imam Hussein explained this to the Hujjaj, taking. And when he left before the Hajj, few days before Eid, a day or two before Eid, what is that saying? He didn't want his blood to be spilled there at Haramain. The Arabs had at Kaaba, the Arabs It was the culture that no blood of anyone must be spilled there in Mecca and in the month of Muharram. This was known. But Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi was killed in that month of Muharram, the month in which it was haram for any killing to take place, any war to take place. What do we say? When we speak about, now let us come to this part, where Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi experienced those who have betrayed him. So, those who did not take advantage of the opportunity to have been a shaheed, we've spoken about that. And now let us come to this category of people who were able to help, but they didn't for certain reasons. Let us just mention 2 or 3 of them. And one of them was Abdullah bin Umar. Abdullah bin Umar did not want to fight. If people would have paid allegiance to the Khalifa at the time, whoever, one of the Umayyads, whoever wanted to be in power, he would have, for the very reason of khawf. He was afraid, didn't want to, he wasn't the fighting type, didn't want to fight. He feared because of his fear of death. And Abdullah bin Umar, he even said, فَإِنُّ يَدْخُلْ دَارُ وَيَغْلُقْ عَلَيْهِ بَابًا. He used to close his house's doors and not being involved in any of the fighting because he was afraid. He was able to. He knew the situation. He knew who Umayyads were. That wasn't lost to him. He knew about oppression. He knew about the position of Imam Hussein. All of these were known. He was aware of the suffering and the dhulm that happened and the nepotism, etc. Yet he chose not to assist Imam Hussein. And look at this particular incident that happened. He preferred what? وَلَمَا رَأَى ibn Umar أَسْرَارُ الْحُسَيْنِ عَلَى مُوَاجَةٍ. When he saw that Imam Hussein insisted upon, he needs to go and stand up, rise up, go and fight. So he requested from Imam Hussein the following. He requested that Imam Hussein allow him to kiss here the abdominal area and wherever the Holy Prophet used to kiss Imam Hussein, so that he could get the tabarruk of the lips of the Holy Prophet. Look at this. When it is required of him to do a certain act, to do certain things, he go and do something else to redeem himself. For he is not going to fight, he's afraid of death. This was the first. This is one of the types which he didn't want to fight because of his fear. He even said that his nafs, that I decide, al-𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗍 تسمح, that death did not permit him now. As if he is exonerated from death. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. But that was the type of people that was able, but his fear of death did not allow. Another one who betrayed Imam Hussein, and his name was Abdullah bin Zubayr. Abdullah bin Zubayr wasn't afraid. He was known to be a fighter. He was known to be strong, etc. But Abdullah bin Zubayr had his own agenda, other than the agenda of Imam Hussein. He used to oppose, used to say things and act against the Umayyads, yes, but not following the path of Imam Hussein, obeying Imam Hussein and following the footsteps. No, he did his own thing, his own revolt. And that's why we see that even Imam Hussein said that whatever he does has nothing to do with my mission. But he was able to, but he didn't obey. Important here. We obey, we follow. We don't have another agenda other than the agenda of Allah Azza wa Jal. He was not interested in saving the ummah from inhirafat, from deviation, or to help Imam Hussein. Wasn't interested in that. His own political agenda he had, because of certain personal reasons of he want to ascend power when they is and they successful. And Imam Hussein engaged with him, talked to him, but he refused to heed the call. That was the second type of people who betrayed Imam Hussein. The last one, and his name was Ubaydullah bin Ja'fi. This one lived in Kufa. But this one, he didn't want to engage also. He left Kufa to go and live and set up his tent there in the desert, far away from everybody. Because Ja'fi didn't want to fight. So here we have these particular personalities, which shows that they were all of them. Oh, there was those mukhlisin, those sincere ones, those shuhada who sold and sacrificed everything for Imam Hussein. Then there were those who, they were not anti-Ahlul Bayt, they were followers of Ahlul Bayt, but they didn't take advantage of the opportunity to become one of the shuhada, but they chose something else. Then you had this particular category where they were afraid of death, some for political reasons. And this one, Al-Ja'fi, for example, he left Kufa not to go and help Imam. He's neutral. Neutrality in the face of injustice is helping oppression. That's not neutrality. That is assisting the oppressors. So here we see that in the Madrasatul Husayniyah, everything is in there. Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi is just like his great-grandfather, Nabi Ismail Salamullah alayhi, who was there in the desert, and his father Nabi Ibrahim Salamullah alayhi had to build a mosque, and he helped his father to build the mosque. And today many of the people are doing Hajj on that Bayt, on the Bayt of Allah there, the Kaaba, and it was a barren land. And like his great-grandfather Hazrat Ismail and Hazrat Ibrahim Salamullah alayhima, that desert, there was no water, and then Zamzam came. At least, when Hazrat Ibrahim had to sacrifice his son, Nabi Ismail Salamullah alayhi, after the dhibh, almost the sacrifice, and then the goat appear there, and then Hazrat Ibrahim saw, okay, he must sacrifice instead of sacrificing his son, and he did it, was sincere sacrifice. And then afterwards, when that whole event was finished, Hazrat Ismail left and with his mother. But Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi, on the day of Ashura, Where was the water for Imam Hussein? There was Zamzam for Nabi Ismail.
Bismillah ruhul baqa, Bismillah shir al-laqa, Bismillah shams al-zuha, Bismillah ibn al-yaqin, Bismillah ruhul baqa, Bismillah shir al-laqa, Bismillah shams al-zuha.